Good afternoon, YouTube. I am filming this for the second time because I managed to film it in slow-mo. So it wasn't a great video. But I always have to record my videos in bits and pieces because my phone tends to stop or shut off in the middle of it. So I've lost half the video. Anyway, what am I doing today? A thrifting video. A vintage haul, vintage textile haul video. And before I even start, I just wanted to say the most common question I get when I show what I have found is, how do you find such lovely things? Now, it is time. You need to put the time in, both in going to places that may sell it or may not. You may spend a lot of time in op shops that have absolutely nothing for you, or thrift stores in the US, or charity shops in the UK, all the stores. Vintage shops sometimes will have great things at reasonable prices, sometimes not, completely out of my budget. But it is time on that kind of search, and it is time also searching online. So this is an online purchase. Most of what I'm going to show you today is not online, but this was a haul. I got a bundle of vintage lace off Facebook. Now, all of this plus post was $45, and there are some really beautiful laces in here. This is a bit odd. I think this might be kind of a trim for an old nightie or something like that. Feels like brushed cotton, that kind of a feel. Some really interesting bits and pieces. This one I'd use for a tie rather than lace. I use this type of lace, this big kind of, what's that, maybe 6-7 centimeters, 2.5 inch potentially, to do pockets and stuff in needle books, and I find it really useful, or in a horsewhip. So lots of lovely bits and pieces came my way from this kind of person selling off their mother's old lace that had sat, like their mother had died, and it had sat in her sewing room for a long time. This kind of a trim I would use for tying either a horsewhip or a needle book or that kind of a thing. The other thing that you might do with something like this, these big pieces, is include them in textile collages or into quilts even. So I've seen there's lots of people doing kind of quilts at the moment. I've got mine that's been on the wall for about a year at this point, but it's off the wall because I had to bring the wall home. This one here is lovely. I'd use that for a tie, definitely. This kind of very simple but delicate always floats my boat. It's very pretty. So online, Facebook Marketplace, if you see it, don't and ah, somebody else will buy it. If it's within your price range, you think it's kind of reasonable, buy it. I will say that sometimes stuff will turn up and you will have wasted your money. That is just part of the process. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can give you any tips about avoiding that, because it happens to me as well. But this definitely was a great purchase. And the other online purchase I'm just going to share, excuse my arm probably reaching across the video there, is also from Facebook Marketplace. I bought some doilies. Just gonna put them like so. These were 3 bundles by a seller, and Post, I think, was $45. Not bad, not amazing. Like, it's not like when you find bargains at thrifting, but like, it's good. And I really love this sandwich doily. All of this needs a good soak. It's got a beautiful tattered edge on it. Very simple doily, but lovely. This one I thought was very pretty. I like the way that it's been stitched, that flower. So I like to have a look at how they've done things and kind of try and replicate them. Purple doily, not really my thing, but fine. I like this one. I like this one a lot. So again, simple but beautiful. So it's a big tray cloth. stained up in the middle, might soak out. I would use all of this in various ways. Big stain here. Now, the reason I bought them is for this one. That is just stunning. It is, I have never traditionally liked purple, but I'm really leaning into this purple, blue, green, and aqua, this kind of colorway. And I saw this part on the marketplace listing, but it's also got double. So I will use some and I will kit some, and I just think that's stunning. And it's a rec doily. It's easy to cut it up. It's got, like, I would say that's a cigarette burn there or something like that. Needs a good soak, but they don't smell terrible or anything, but they do need a soak. Now, this one is definitely a cutter, but still, you know, beautiful hand crocheted edge on there, little bits and pieces to use. It came with, and you know, sometimes they'll throw things in just to make it look like more, but it's not really what you want. So these doilies here, crochet doilies, I actually quite like. I especially like these two because they're nice and fine. So I love a fine doily and use them all the time. These two are not as fine, or this one, but they are made with like a silky thread, and I tend to like those as well. The kind that will go into my donation pile is, this is also a silky thread, but it's just thick and kind of, it's not my jam. Also not my jam, it's just too bulky kind of for me. And then these two little embroidered pieces, I might cut them out, but they are definitely machine stitched, and they're not, the colouring of them isn't super lovely to me. So if you're picking up online, just be aware that you might also get things that you don't actually want. And now we're moving on to where I was super, super lucky. I took myself very early last Sunday to the Islington market, which is held the last Sunday of every month in Islington, Newcastle. And it is basically like a car boot sale, although people set up on trestle tables. It's not actually out of the boots of cars. I often go if I remember it's on. And this one I happened to wake up really early and I headed on down. I was going to go for a swim at the beach and I thought, oh, I think it's the market. And I found what I think is amazing, an old Chase lounge cover that's been cut off, and you can see that it's got its piping edge. One side of it is in much better condition than the other. So, where is it? So like stained on this side and kind of a bit threadbare. The other side, much fresher. And it's a beautiful old bark cloth. Beautiful bright pink, green. It looked beautiful stitched up, like with camphor stitching. And I think this would be lovely for either needlebook covers or for hoosewifts. And it needs a good bath first. So the first thing I'm going to have to do with that is to clean it. But I think this was $10. And I think all of my purchasing, which now I don't even know if I'm showing it all because I've lost some of the videos, etc., but was $120 altogether. I got some really good bargains. This for $10 I was thrilled with. Does need a good wash. Didn't smell bad though, which was good. And then I found this as well, which is a lovely kind of crochet vintage trim. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's like 5 centimeters wide. There'd be a couple of meters minimum in there, and it's really lovely colors. So again, this would be lovely pockets or a tie for something, just interesting. It was $5 and happy to buy that as well. Then we move on to the things that I was the most thrilled with in my purchasing. So I'm just showing you all the things that weren't such great value, although they're good at the start. These are cotton, very high thread count cotton pillow shams, big size, so like old. But We've got lovely drawn thread work and edging around there, so lots of area to work on. And I picked up a pair of them, not for that, for these buttons. So these are buttons made from fabric and then crocheted around or stitched around. It is, I'm not even sure what it is, but they're little handmade buttons. And on the pair of pillowcases, I get 2 on each one, so I've got 4. So they were $10 for the pair, so $2.50 button, which I think is really good value. I have used one of those buttons in one of my needle books. People ask me about it all the time. Very happy to see some more of those and pick them up. More of the buttons. Lovely little crochet set. The green and cream. Very lovely. Those vintage colours always do it for me. I will use that type of a thing in a variety of projects. I might put them as pages of a needle book. They might be in a textile collage. They're just lovely. Now this set is kind of interesting because it's 2 big ones and 1 small one. Normally it's 1 big and 2 small if you get a set. So interesting. Put these to the side for a sec. Some beautiful crochet doilies, very fine. I would say they are crocheted with a linen thread. And these are beautiful in textile collages or as kind of embellishment on a needle book or swift or, you know, whatever you're doing in a quilt. I've got ones like these in the quilt that I am making. Really beautiful. And there was a set of those. And then also this lovely linen, very stained, but my kind of staining. I kind of love that kind of staining. Like I'd say it's a table runner, and that's the back of it, which is great. There is an M on it. So for somebody that their name starts with M, perfect, beautiful crochet edging, this rickrack and kind of crochet trim along each end. Needs a good soak, lovely linen, very fine. Don't mind a bit of this rust kind of staining at all. And thrilled to pick that one up. And I would have said that this was $1 or $2. I can't quite remember. Now, this was the thing that made me jump for joy. They were unpriced. They were hankies. I think I paid $5 for the whole shimbomble of them. Shimbomble, that's not really a word, but bundle of them. They are some of the most beautiful doilies I've ever seen. I love the drawn thread work, very fine, little bit of embroidery. This one is just stunning. Look at that. Some of them are very clean, some of them are dirty, like this one here's got a big stain at the moment. Beautiful work. Some are embroidered. Now I picked 3, they weren't marked and I didn't know what they were going to charge, but I took up the pile and I said, oh, how much for these? And they said, how about $5? And I nearly fell over and I couldn't give them my $5 note quick enough. I couldn't believe my luck. Thistle. In this bundle of hankies, there are a lot of hand-worked crochet edging and corners, and they're just really beautiful. Now, these kind of edges just are very sweet in needle books. So I always pick them up if I come across them, but I don't think I've ever got any for this kind of a price. It's like amazing to me. Very beautiful. Like cross stitch, very fine cross stitch with a lovely edge on this one. This one's interesting, look at that. It's not much to blow your nose on, but very nice work. Look at that, beautiful hand worked embroidery on them. Some of them more machine work. This one will be machine worked. I picked that up, I'd say, because it has a B. B for me, B for Beck. Another hand-worked crochet one. I also tend to pick up if I come across them, so I won't go through all of them. Like, they are beautiful. Super lucky. That's actually a hand towel, I'd say. Although it's very short. Maybe I think somebody's cut that off and re-edged it at some point. Just really, really beautiful work. Like, this is just stunning. And it's on, with this hanky, it's on all four corners. Can you believe that? Like, it's just amazing. Some of them are less amazing, but still lovely. Like, this one's just on one corner. Anyway, I'm not going to go through them all, but I am going to talk about these. So sometimes if you're looking for vintage fabric, it can be hard to find. These kind of printed hankies are sometimes easier to pick up, and you can get some great prints in there that are perfect. I've used some in my Gosling quilt. You know, they can be really lovely cut up for a quilt and beautiful in needle books. Just, you know, they've got some beautiful motifs sometimes, and they're often hand worked on the edge, even though they're like a printed pattern. And this one is just gorgeous to me. Like a little hat with flowers, some drawn thread work in it as well. Just a very kind of vintage feeling piece of fabric, and it would be just beautiful in whatever you chose to put it in, really. It's just a stunning piece of fabric. So don't discount hankies. They're really good. Now, you're going to move on to the videos I actually shot this morning that aren't in slow-mo. So hopefully these kind of connect well. And I'm just going to forward this by saying I share some beautiful things that Period Bits and Frippery, who I'll link in my notes, gifted to me, and I bought some things from them as well. They are not two Sharons, they are two Karens that work together. So apologies later when I say two Sharons, it's actually two Karens. Okay. Okay, still at the Islington or Wickham markets. It's kind of like a car boot sale, really. This lovely round tablecloth, beautiful linen, a machine crochet on the edge, but lovely work through here. I'm always partial to a wreath. So lots of wreaths with flowers there, which just very pretty work. That's all the 6-strand embroidery kind of work, embroidery cotton work. And I always love that. I love the kind of look of it. Lovely square tablecloth. So each corner has these, would you say they're roses? I'm not even sure what they are. I don't know that they're roses because they've got like the stamen kind of coming out, but lovely motif, hand done. It's got a hand crocheted and some problems with it, but crochet edge, just a beautiful piece on linen as well. Just, I don't know, just really lovely. Look at that, so pretty. And you know, some wear to it. I actually really love the wear, so I'm not after perfection. And then this lovely kind of cherry blossom one, also with hand crochet edging, a square. In both of these, there's no work in the center. And this one actually hasn't quite been finished in some spots, which is interesting, actually. Maybe it's been finished in some areas and not others. No, they've never done this little bit. So maybe they didn't like it, the original makeup, but beautiful work. Beautiful colors in there, the pinks, the greens, the green that I really love, and kind of a cherry red. So I think those 3 tablecloths, all of them decent size. I'd say at least a meter, maybe a meter square, and the round one's bigger than that. They were some marks on some of it that won't come out with soaking. They They were $30, I think, for the 3 of them. So kind of more expensive end of my purchasing, all really reasonable, in my opinion, at a car boot sale. So happy to get those as well. Just grab, got some interesting things now. This is an old tea towel, and it is the most divine tea towel I have ever seen. I think this is the back, but the only reason I know that is because of the hemming done that way. This is just beautiful, beautiful fabric. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I saw it and I had to have it, and it was $2. So thrilled to have picked that up. I will not be using it for a tea towel. It will be doing something else. It may go into quilts. It's beautiful linen. It's just stunning. I don't know if it's showing up on, like, it is just a beautiful piece. I also picked up from that same vendor, and I think this one was $1 maybe, but a lovely linen. This one's quite crisp. It feels like it's never been used or never washed, and it's got some embroidery on it, although it does have some little holes, so maybe used, or just a very slubby linen, or maybe it's just been cared for very well. Just, you know, lovely bits like this. This kind of feature here is lovely and things. Always going to pick that up. I can't remember what that one was. I just remember this being $2 and just thinking, what an amazing day. And I found this right at the start, so I was very happy about that. And then also, comment or tell me what this one is. I have no idea. I really like the fabric. It's little overalls and it's kind of stuffed at the end. I thought maybe a peg bag. Like it's got a little thing here. Maybe you hang it up on your washing line and it's a peg bag. In any event, I just thought it was lovely and got that. And I think it was bundled with something else. I don't even know. I don't know what I paid for it, but whatever I paid for it was worth it. But if you know what that is, let me know, because I'm not certain. Although I do think potentially a peg bag. Look at that fabric, isn't it gorgeous? Just so lovely. And while we're doing other textiles than doilies or tablecloths, I also picked up this apron. So this is fine. It's a taupey colour, kind of textured cotton. I just really like the pocket, the fabric on the pocket, like these daisies through here. I liked this bit here would be perfect in something, and more of that beautiful fabric across the bottom. So picked up that apron and this one. Now I know this one was $5. The other one was cheaper. I'm not sure how much it was, but this one was $5. I loved the fabric on that. It's just really lovely vintage fabric. It's got like this rickrack edging on the edge of the frill, and also rickrack through here, and then a frill at the top. It's very pretty. And this like very fine cotton, and something's been cut off the end there, I'd say, or is the other one the same as that? It is. So maybe never finished properly, I'm not sure. So just looking at that here, I think it's machined and hand stitched together, but pretty fabric for use in all sorts of things. So look at the aprons. I often find really good things in aprons. In my Edie quilts, both of them have lots of apron bits in them, with rickrack especially, and I love that. And then from the Islington market, the last kind of pile of things that I have is the embroidered or applique pieces. So I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm loving the applique. 2 brand new applique pieces by machine. Interesting colours, a lot of dirt on there, which I kind of quite love, and I love the edging on them always. This is a machine done. No, it's not a machine done. That looked like handwork to me. That is handwork. Okay, even better. It's a hand-worked blue drawn threadwork cotton doily Machine edging on it though, and beautiful hand-worked embroidery. I love the colours. The blue, the green, and the pink that you can pick up in these vintage colours of this kind. They're not very common anymore. Everybody has seen that the price of this kind of stuff is going up. But if you find it at a market, well, even at a market, sometimes it can be ridiculous, but like I happened upon some really good finds. Look at that. Is that not just divine? I don't know what it is about it, but it just really speaks to me. And then obviously the person that these had come from had used bits of them in the past. So this is a cut one that matches that one below, slightly bigger, and just beautiful work in there. So thrilled with those. I don't like, this is on Aida cloth. I don't like it when it's on the Aida cloth, but I am loving cross stitch that you stitch into, and that's as a direct influence of seeing Fleur Woods' beautiful work when she taught her workshop at Newcastle at my shop. And I might show you mine at the end so I can show you what I mean by that, but I'm going to be picking up anything that I find like this in future, and I'll show you why. So stay tuned. Very thrilling things coming your way. A little set of appliques. Are these not very, they are just so sweet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of them. They might have been meant to be coasters. Like hand worked through the centers of them. So they're going to be perfect on all sorts of things. Hand towel with, you know, like a geranium kind of leaf, but these don't look like geraniums to me. Beautiful edge on it as well in green. So lots of linen to use there. I'd use that as a base of a textile collage probably. Peachy apricot embroidered. I would say that's a placemat. All 4 corners have been done, and this one is particularly beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's put these out of the way. Now this one I hesitated about picking up because it's just so grotty and dirty. It's not finished. But I did like the orange and the green. That's upside down, isn't it? Orange and green and red on the blue. Hopefully it soaks up okay. A couple of the corners are almost, this part's finished, this part's not. You probably want to put some French knots into here. Maybe. And then these 2 corners completely not finished. But as I said, I really like them when they're on different coloured textiles, and that's getting harder and hard to find. So pick this one up to see how it soaks up. Lovely large tray cloth. Nice blanket stitch kind of flowers on there. These are really pretty, and there's 2 of those because they've got, you know, lovely work through here. Quite pretty simple, easy designs, and I love this kind of cross stitch stuff to put into things. But I also like the purple crochet on the edge of that. Really lovely. So 2 of those. Another hand crocheted, just like little flower motif there. Also lovely. Oh, this one should have been in the white work. This one was just an interesting kind of lace. Just thought that might be a nice textural element in something. A little Scotty dog, kind of like a Christmas Scotty dog really. And there's another one of him. Where is he? Here. So one's black and one's brown or grey. So cute. This one's got like a yucky stain on it. Hopefully that will come out. That's not a stain that I like. So if I can't get that out, I would cut it out. Otherwise, this would absolutely be a page in a needle book or a pocket, like a pocket kind of envelope edge for a needle book, that kind of a thing. And you'd get 2 out of it, I guess, with the beautiful edging. I've become slightly obsessed with old tea towels that have embroidery on them, and this one's got like a saucepan and some flowers on a kind of maybe cotton, maybe linen, very fine linen. It's a little kind of hand towel, lovely blue sprigs on that one. Kind of a cut up doily, probably from that same vendor that the other ones were cut up from, but this is still lovely. I really liked just the little pink with the kind of green sprigs out the top. So this little thing in here is very lovely, and it's on both of them. I mean, the rest of it I'd use absolutely as well. This would be a placemat as well, and you're meant to put your serviette in here, but love that. Love the edging as well. So the edging would form one thing, or maybe I'd do a textile collage on this. It'll probably get into kits, but you know, that's what I look at them to use them for. Two of these as well. This nice, lovely doilies. Love the colouring in both of these. Blues, greens, brown. Love a bit of brown. Don't discount brown. Little basket. This one's very sweet. Also with hand crochet edge. A larger tray table mat. Not sure. Nice flowers on that. Nice colours. Peach and aqua and green. And then this was my favourite from the embroidered ones. And it's got some marks on it. But they might come out with some soaking. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Little cottage in here, beautiful flowers and a path up there. Even this little flower here is just divine to me. So I think that's absolutely everything I got from the Islington market. But wait, there is more. Sorry, I'm just interjecting at this point to show my Fleur Woods Inspired art that I started at her workshop. I got to do some of the workshop because my shop wasn't ready. So because it was like we were in the small shop, there was no room for us to work at the same time as the course was going on, but I needed to be around to host her and, you know, welcome guests and do whatever was required in that regard. So I got to sit and stitch a bit, and then I've been working on this at home. And when Fleur got there, she had, I actually think her tablecloth is slightly different, although she and she's probably got a better eye for it than me, thought that we had the same. I saw her work and I immediately kind of thought, I've got that tablecloth, and she has just stitched into hers beautifully. Now I'm still adding to mine. This one here's got some beading on it. I don't know if you can see that. There's beading here and here and here, and I've beaded out the center for that rose there. And then the pink one doesn't have any beading yet. And I've just, originally I did them with pearl thread, and then I've just been working over and over them. This one has just been started slightly down this end, but needs a lot more work, as does this one. Anyway, I was heavily inspired by Fleur, and I thought, wow, I love the look of that. And I'm going to be collecting cross-stitch kind of tablecloths and stuff to kind of do that kind of thing, because look how beautiful they are. That's why this is here. But mine, I'm quite happy with how mine's coming together. Can't wait to thread paint this. Going to add some texture in here. Just all the things. This was Anna Maria Horner. These flowers were out of Anna Maria Horner fabric. And I had a little bit of it that I'd kept because I just loved it. And then I put the rest of it into the pile that Fleur had brought for people to find the textiles they wanted to work from. And it was very well loved. So you can work with modern fabrics as well as vintage ones. So just whatever floats your boat, I guess. I like to work with both. Oh, and I just found, this tablecloth that also came from Islington. No idea how much it was, but this could be really cool worked into the same way. They're beautiful flowers. I'd probably remove the basket from it, but I don't like how this is just one color. So once you started adding some extra colors, and they've stitched in different ways to delineate the petals, but you could really kind of play that up with some stitching into it. So I thought that was a good pick up as well. So all of that from Islington Market, $120. What a bargain. Just thrilled with that. Early bird catches the worm, as they say. So the next pile of goodness is just because I am incredibly lucky. And I do not take this for granted at all. I was gifted, well, that's actually something I bought off Marketplace. And that's something else I bought off Marketplace. I was gifted just the most wonderful mix of just fantastic things from an Instagram seller called Period Bits and Frippery. Period Frippery and Bits. I will link them below. I'll work out the actual name. Now, I buy from them. And in here, I'm just going to move some of this and then I'll show you. No, look, let's shove it to the back a bit. Can I move my camera a bit? There we go. Sorry about that if you got seasick. So from them, this was a freebie on when anybody that was buying could say sold and get this. This is absolutely divine. I just cannot believe how beautiful this is. And it was free, like it's got a massive stain in it. That's a greasy stain. It may not come out, it may. I just love it. I just think it's just beautiful. It's the green and a daisy. Green and daisy always float my boat. Similar colours to one of the ones I showed that I picked up at Islington, picked up from that Instagram sale. They do it on Sunday afternoons, 2:30 Adelaide time, I think. I think they only post in Australia, so sorry if you're overseas. But look how lovely that is. It's those same colours, the purples, the blues, the green, aqua greens that I'm loving. Love a bit of a hollyhock. Managed to get a couple of hollyhock pieces. Just beautiful. Always pick up a sandwich doily if I can for a reasonable price. That one's just very simple but lovely. Sauce bottle holder, white work, but this one actually is just so old. This is actually light pink around here. It just doesn't show up very well. Hand done, hand edged, just beautiful. Little applique piece. That was probably $1 or 50 cents or something on that sale. Little violets. So when I tend to buy on an Instagram sale, because they're not, actually Period Frippery and Bits are quite reasonably priced, but they're often not prices that I can afford to resell at, or, I do a lot of searching for stuff myself, so I'm finding things at good prices, but often I'll find different things and that's what I'll definitely buy. So I've never seen a violet like that, but happy to add it to my collection. This one's a lovely tray cloth or larger doily. And I actually picked this one up to put in kits for the Gosling quilt because it's not even in camera, sorry. That there would just be beautiful in the Gosling quilt and you'd get 2 out of it from that doily. Also a lovely little blue, orange and green, favorite color combo of mine. Another one like this. So I bought that. Then the beautiful operators of that kind of de-stash page said, could we send you some things? We've been putting them aside for you. We think you'd love them. And I said, love that. Thank you. And they sent me just the motherload of beauty. Hollyhocks again. Look at the mending on this. That's probably my favorite thing in the whole thing, that somebody has hand done that to fix it. Just beautiful. So some large hexies in there with some, older fabrics. This beautiful, I would say, sheeting, not feed sack. It's got a feel that's not unsimilar to feed sack. Maybe it's feed sack. It's lovely, whatever it is. Just beautiful. Big piece of that. Some Sanderson scrappy bits, so broken bits. But how good is this for either adding into some like textile collages like that one I just showed you that I'm making for Fleur, or smaller bits to use for needlebook covers. Just beautiful. So there's quite a few bits of vintage Sanderson, like little scrappy bits that they gifted to me, which just, you know, it's really hard to find vintage Sanderson now. So I was incredibly lucky to get that. Look at that, just stunning, big rip through it. There'll be something that I find to do with that, which will be amazing. So lots more pieces of little bits of vintage Sanderson, which would be lovely for ties on things, or just to add in, you know, maybe you need a little rosebud in your work. Who knows? Just gorgeous. So lots of those as well. This is a really holy piece of fabric. Ripped. Just stunning. Look at that. I just love that. No idea what I'll do with it. Just adore it though. This I think might be vintage Cath Kidston fabric that's in here. Not sure. Cowboys. Not so much my thing, but you know, beautiful. This is lovely. This will have been an old curtain. Look at that. Just such stunning flowers that they have. So beautiful for slow stitching, beautiful for needle books. Just beautiful. And there's two bits of it. So maybe a cushion, but I think more probably a curtain. And then, sorry, there's some more of those hexies. What they actually said to me was, we know you like Hello Kitty. Would you like us to send you some Hello Kitty fabric? And I'm always up for a bit of Hello Kitty. So I said, yes, please. And there is this beautiful old Hello Kitty. She's upside down there. And there'd be a good metre of that, I'd say, in there. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's got chicken as well, but I just love it. So thank you so much, Sharon's, because it's two Sharons that run it. And this is just gorgeous. Look at that. Look at this fabric. Just divine. Again, probably I'd use that for textile collage because those blooms, like, can you imagine those thread painted? Look, it's as big as my hand. Just amazing. Okay. Now, some little bits and pieces of white work, which you know I love. These are brilliant to include in your work. Don't just think it's not worth anything because it's white. It's another lovely hanky that they've included. Beautiful tray cloth with that lovely fine lace on the edge. That's lovely. Beautiful old collar. And like, I'm not sure if they sold them or they've picked these up in an estate sale, but this has got a $15 tag on it, probably from a little antique shop or something that went out of business. But just so generous, so beautiful. Look at this fine. Like, often these bits are cut or broken. Fine work. Like, that's a cross stitch and there's some irises. So very pretty. I have irises in my garden actually at the moment. So love that. Lovely, another piece of lace. Lovely cuff off something. I use these kind of things all the time. And if you follow Jessie Chorley, we had her book in store. It was beautiful, but it sold out like immediately. She uses lots of cuffs and things. So don't forget to collect those. And then this is my absolute favorite from the white work. Look at that. I'm not sure what that's going to go into, but it's just stunning. And it's staying with me, definitely. And then on top of that, do I need a new video? No. Lots of beautiful stained, ripped, but beautiful pieces. Look at the mending on this. Like, that just makes it for me. All that mending that's gone into this beautiful piece of work, just beautiful. So this was all gifted to me, girls, or people. I shouldn't assume it's all women watching. I can't believe it. I'm not going to be able to use it all. Some of it will come into kits and things because I think it's just stunning. This is lovely. The edging on this is just beautiful. They know I love a hanky. Look at that. Mended again. Just lovely. A little strawberry, which will go into my strawberry pile. And I think the next video I'll make, I'll actually show you everything I've collected to make my strawberry quilt with because it's kind of out of control. Look at these bits and pieces. Just beautiful. Look at the edging on this one. Really lovely. So they've just kind of turned that over and then done a big stitch and then kind of, what's that called when you do the, I'm going to think of it at 2 a.m. tonight. You'll all know what it is. It's just a stitch going over the other way that holds it in place. A bit of applique. This one. A flannel flower. I love flannel flowers. So beautiful. Lovely fine cross stitch piece. Another piece of applique. How lovely is that one? Some more cross stitch. It's a beautiful large tray cloth with damaged edging but tattered edge. And that's just beautiful. And look at the embroidery on that. It's just gorgeous. Last but not least, this little piece. Oh no, sorry, we haven't even finished. Look at that, lovely. And then they had this little box with some beautiful vintage trims. I love this tiny rickrack. Sometimes I've had some cards of it. Sometimes I put it into kits and I have trouble letting it go. Gorgeous vintage lace, and there's quite a big shank of that in there. Another lovely old lace, like a cotton eyelet lace. Couple of lovely wools. A cool rickrack. Always pick up this rickrack if you can find like a rickrack that's got fun edging. 2 tiny hand basted or stitch basted little hexy flowers. So they're gorgeous. I think I'm going to put them in with the stitches on them because that just makes them so beautiful. Little bundle of tiny old buttons, and last but not least, also marked at $10. So maybe from a vintage shop that closed down, maybe from, I'm not sure, but look at that. Just beautiful. So I feel incredibly lucky. Sorry, I have to keep restarting my phone because it goes into, I don't know, shutdown mode or something. I feel incredibly lucky that I've come across lovely online people like this. I do try and be generous, never as generous as this with other people. When I had that, where is it? Where's my Fleur Woods thing? Where have I put that? I don't even know. Maybe I put it back. But when I had my Fleur Woods piece of tablecloth, I also gifted a piece to my friend Min, who was at the course, and then a lovely lady, Judy. Hi, Judy. Hi, Min. Who was over from New Zealand, said, oh, do you have any more of that? And she'd brought me a beautiful strawberry cross-stitch piece, and I said, why don't you have that as my gift? And Fleur's like, you shouldn't have given those away because I've got people desperate for them. But, it's nice to give people things that they're really attracted to as well. So I try and share the love as well as, obviously, receiving the love, because look at this. I just feel incredibly lucky, and watch and see what I do with some of this stuff. Thank you for being here. Hope you're all getting some stitching time. It's Sunday here and I'm taking the whole day off. I'm not doing anything. My poor husband's been cleaning bathrooms and stuff, but I am just having a day off because I'm tired. So happy stitching, everybody.